I know I did a video yesterday. I posted one yesterday about Mel Robbins, the 5-second rule. And so I wanted to post again. Sorry, it's 2 days in a row. But I wanted to do this one because I didn't want to forget about it. I felt it was important enough to talk about it today instead of later. And if my phone suddenly falls or wobbles crazy, the thing that I've got on my dash that's super cheap from Walmart to hold my phone is broken. I just discovered it's broken, so sorry if it malfunctions. Okay, school just got out, so I'm dealing with a lot of traffic and children. So there we go. On my way. Okay, so I wanted to address, it seems like it's everybody's biggest question in life. It's not, why am I here? That kind of thing. That doesn't seem to be the biggest question anymore. It seems to be, why do good people suffer? Why do good people die? Why does God allow, if there's a God, why does he allow so many bad things to happen to innocent people? There's countless things that happen to good, innocent people all the time. And it's like, well, why does that just happen to bad people? Well, for one, it would throw the balance off, big time. If everything bad that ever happened in this life happened to only bad people, there'd be no bad people. And bad things have to continue to happen because we live in an imperfect world. So once all the bad people are, see, there goes my phone. Once the bad people are completely wiped out of society, out of life, out of civilization, then where's the bad stuff going to go? Is it just going to happen to the rocks, the plants, the earth, the sky? I mean, people are still going to die. People are still going to get sick. People are still going to suffer. It only makes sense. There's more bad things that happen in this life than good. So, and there's honestly, I believe, more good people in this life than bad, although there are a lot of bad, and there's more bad and more bad all the time, it seems. There is no way that all the bad that happens could go to just bad people. It wouldn't work. It doesn't make sense. As much as we'd like it to happen that way, it couldn't. I mean, we would cease to have this world. We wouldn't have a world of good and bad, of the yin and the yang, and of the positive and negative, and of opposition. And it would cease to be. We have to have that balance. And there is a lot more negativity, but the joys outweigh the bad, I believe. So, is it 20? I didn't see the school lights flashing. And there's a cop there flashing his lights. That's awesome. And I was speeding. Great. Is he not standing there anymore? Please don't pull me over. I did. There were no school lights flashing, you dumb cop. Maybe you should turn on the school lights. Gonna freaking start out a panic attack. I can only imagine what minorities go through when a cop's going to pull them over, because especially in places where there's seems to be more minority than white, which is kind of weird because it makes the white the minority, but at any rate, the minority population tends to get a lot of bullying. Okay, that's totally off topic. So anyway, okay, that's one thing that explains why bad things happen to good people. Another thing that this was so interesting, an interesting thought for my husband. I was just like, wow, that's kind of deep. And he doesn't usually talk deep stuff. So I was really surprised. I was like, wow, okay, wow, good thought. I don't know if he picked it up from somewhere else, or if he was inspired with it, or if he'd been thinking about it a lot and it's just a conclusion he came to. But it made so much sense to me, being a spiritual person and believing in God, believing that there is a God, and believing that he does love us and that we are his children. That's how I believe. And so he said that maybe before we came to this earth, maybe we'd like made a deal with God, or made a deal with God and this other person. That person overcorrected, almost rolled their car. Scary. And anyway, we agreed that we would, like, we basically offered ourselves up for bad things to happen. That sounds crazy, I know, but hear me out. For example, say my uncle offers himself up as to be the victim of a break-in and a robbery. Why does he do that? Because this person that robs my uncle, this doesn't happen, I'm just speaking, giving an example. So this robber goes in, and the thing is that the robber has the free agency to choose if he's going to go in and do this or not. He can choose to rob him, or he can change his mind and say, no, I don't think I'm going to do that. I don't feel good about it. Forget it. But say he does choose to go in and rob my uncle, and he goes in, and my uncle's a victim of this. And whether my uncle gets hurt or not, say he gets shot, so it's worse than it could be. Or stabbed or something, or he just loses stuff. Whatever the case, whatever the bad stuff is, it happens. And my uncle's just upset, and the family's even more upset than he is, and yada yada. And then they question, why did this happen to us? That's not fair. Well, little do they know that they'd made an agreement beforehand with God that they would be a witness to this guy's bad actions. Because remember, there's a judgment day, as we've been taught, in scriptures, a judgment day coming that God will hold, and we will be judged according to our actions and our thoughts and stuff like that. And so how, if we're running a court system, God could say, you did this, and then the guy could say, no, I didn't. That's your opinion. That's what you say. Prove it. And so God calls us witnesses. These are your victims. Uncle so-and-so, you robbed him. And Uncle so-and-so goes up and says, I testify that this happened. So he's a witness, God's witness, that's two witnesses, and God says that he needs 2 or 3 witnesses in everything to prove, the truth. And so, unfortunately, that's what happened. Same thing can happen in a case of murder. And mass shootings, or stuff like that. Now, when it comes to like sicknesses and plagues and stuff, it's the balance thing again. Unfortunately, good people will always die with bad people. It's the way it is. It doesn't mean that they are dead for good and that their lives were a complete waste. I gotta put these on. I can't see very well today. Thank you. Glasses. What we have to have faith in is that, aside from the free agency, sure, people have free agency, but also there has to be witnesses to these people choosing wrong things and doing really bad stuff. There has to be witnesses to prove God's case, even though God's God and can just say it. He wants to be completely fair, and he's just like, this really did happen. But I also believe God is extremely merciful, way more merciful than people realize. And we're not just going to all go to the damnation hellfire pit crap. I don't believe that. I also don't believe that everybody's just going to be redeemed and saved when they don't care and could care less and don't repent or don't try to be better, or both. I believe there's a balance. There's scales, and there's things that you need to do and whatever, and then you got the ones that just suffer from bad things that happen. That has to bounce out. Like I said, there's always going to be bad things that happen, and nature is unpredictable, and there will be victims of it. And everywhere nature happens, there are people, and among those people are good and bad people. And if God was to go and save every good person from nature, that's not natural. That's ridiculous. That'd be like us following our children around. Say we had 10 kids and we're following all 10 kids around at the exact same time, which is impossible. But say we tried to do that and we tried to keep them from harm. Keep them from harm from getting their feelings hurt. Keep them from harm from people offending them. Keep them from harm from stubbing their toes at night. Keep them from harm from pinching their finger in a door or getting in a bad accident, whatever the case may be. Could you imagine? Like, if God just babysat us, he'd be a helicopter parent. And that I'm sorry, that's not healthy. I don't believe that's what a perfect parent would do. And God's supposed to be a perfect parent. He is going to allow children to suffer because it builds character. It makes them stronger. It can make them better people if they choose to be better people and learn from what they're going through. It teaches us to have empathy. So there are so many reasons I believe that go behind suffering. And to sit and think, oh, woe is me, why me? It's like, why everybody? Why does everybody suffer? There's nobody that escapes suffering. It doesn't matter how innocent the person is, they are going to suffer. It doesn't matter how bad they are, they're going to suffer. Everybody does. This isn't a life to come to go, yay, woohoo, yay, everybody's happy and we're getting along great, everything's perfect. No, that's heaven. This isn't heaven. We all know that. This life's like hell. And it is for us to get stronger and better and to hope that God's just going to rescue us from every little thing and every big thing is ridiculous. God may not answer us from being saved from a tornado and whatever, or saved from bad people, but he can help us find lost keys, for example. He can help us remember important things, because those little things don't change the balance. Those don't affect balance. Those don't affect nature. Those don't affect natural consequences. They don't. They're just, just like we help our kids. If our kids give us a call and say, hey, I don't know what to do about this, we say, hey, you can do this. Or, Mom, I'm sick and I need a meal made for me. Mom's making dinner for the family. That's not going to change anything. It's not taking over her daughter's calling as a mother, or the father's being a stay-at-home dad. It's not taking over that position, which is what people are expecting of God. Take over my position so I don't have to go through the suffering. But if you don't do that, then I'm not going to ask for your help in anything else. It's like having a temper tantrum. It's like people are acting like a bunch of little children because they aren't getting what they want from God. They are, I refuse to believe in you. So there, I am showing you. If you don't do what I want, it's like a 2-year-old. I'm sorry, I sound really insensitive about it, but I try to be sensitive about the topic, but I get kind of annoyed when people don't put more thought into it. They're such victims. And when you go around just thinking, woe is me all the time, woe is you all the time. Yes. Woe is me too. Woe is everybody. Woe is the richest man. Woe is Bill Gates. He has stuff that happens to him. His life's not perfect. Dude. He doesn't get along with everybody. He doesn't have the best social skills. That sucks. Just people in my family have bad social skills. It sucks. Sometimes I feel lonely with a million people around them. We all go through stuff. So anyway, if you have any thoughts you want to share, or if you think I'm absolutely hogwash, or if you agree, well, I don't care. Go ahead, feel free to comment. Share the video if you think it would help anybody, because I would hope that it would help somebody. So I'm out. Talk to you later. Love you. Bye.